In the beginning, we introduced to a woman named Lisa who awakens covered in her husband's blood, subsequently facing accusations of his murder and losing her freedom, reputation, and son. After years in prison, a hidden truth about the crime begins to emerge. The narrative then flashes back to a seemingly normal day for Lisa, where she enjoys fishing with her son. Later, they attend a party with her successful businessman husband and her best friend, who is affectionately caring for Lisa's son. The atmosphere is joyous, highlighting Lisa's trust in both her husband and best friend before the tragic event. After a party, Lisa's husband surprises her with a private boat vacation, offering to buy the boat if she enjoys it. Her best friend agrees to care for their son. Despite her husband's dislike for the sea, they embark on the trip. The mood is initially romantic, but Lisa awakens in the middle of the night to find her bed, hands, and clothes covered in blood. Panicked, she searches for her husband, calling his name. On deck, she finds a knife. As she picks it up, police officers surround her, ordering her to surrender. Subsequently, her missing businessman husband becomes the subject of a citywide search with no trace found. Lisa implores officers to continue searching for her husband, despite their assertion that survival in the freezing sea was impossible, causing her to break down. The following day, her lawyer and police declare her husband dead and name her as the main murder suspect, advising her to remain silent. Bail is denied, and her lawyer suggests her son stay with a friend. Lisa recounts that she fell asleep after a few drinks, theorizing her husband might have accidentally injured himself with a knife while on the boat. However, her lawyer then reveals critical new information. Lisa is accused of murdering her husband for £2 million in life insurance, making her the sole beneficiary. Her husband's lawyer reveals 2 embezzlement lawsuits against him, freezing their assets. His death would dissolve these cases, ensuring Lisa received the insurance payout. In court, the prosecution presents compelling evidence. The boat's radio wire was cut, Lisa was found holding the alleged murder weapon, a knife, and an audio recording plays of her husband calling for help after being stabbed, identifying himself. Lisa is shocked by the recording, unable to recall its origin, and attempts to claim someone else boarded the boat. However, the prosecution emphasizes that only Lisa financially benefits from his death. After her trial, Lisa's lawyer admits defeat, leaving her alone. With no other option, she asks her best friend to adopt her son, ensuring he receives her insurance money and avoids her estranged family. Though initially hesitant, her friend agrees, preventing the state from taking the child. Lisa tells her son he'll stay with his aunt temporarily. In prison, inmates bet Lisa won't survive, but she adapts, enduring harsh conditions. Initially, her friend and the son visit frequently, cheering her with his progress. However, visits become less frequent, eventually stopping altogether, and her friend ceases communication. After a month of unanswered calls, Lisa's prison roommates encourage her to find out why her best friend has disappeared with her son. Lisa devises a plan, calling her friend's former school, pretending to be from accounting, to get her updated contact information. When she finally reaches her friend, Lisa expresses her concern about her son, demanding to know why she hasn't seen him. Her friend makes excuses, claiming she was about to call. Lisa insists on speaking to her son directly. Hearing his voice brings her momentary relief until he says, "Say it, Dad." This statement instantly reveals her husband is alive. The call then disconnects, and a subsequent attempt finds the line busy, confirming Lisa's realization that the entire situation was a setup. Lisa, betrayed by her husband and best friend, who faked his death, was imprisoned for his supposed murder, and her son was taken. Despite her attempts to inform the insurance company that her husband was alive, she wasn't believed as a convicted prisoner. An inmate, a former lawyer, advised her that she couldn't be tried twice for the same crime, implying that if she served her sentence and then actually killed her husband, she couldn't be prosecuted again. This terrifying idea motivated Lisa, who began rigorous physical and mental training in prison, driven by revenge. After 6 years, she worried her son might not remember her. Her fellow inmates helped her prepare for her parole hearing, which she passed, gaining conditional release. Her parole officer gave strict instructions: follow rules, work, no weapons, and an 8:30 p.m. curfew, with no second chances for violations. Lisa feigned indifference about her son to the officer. Upon release, she immediately sought her former friend's address online. A man at an internet cafe, unknowingly helping her with her search, asked her out. Lisa, to deter him, casually stated she had just been released from prison for killing and dismembering her husband. Lisa gathers potential addresses for her son. At her residence, she observes her parole officer, a former university professor whose family left him after a drunk driving accident, violently handling an inmate who violated parole. Lisa, missing her son, realizes the officer likely misses his daughter. The next day, the daycare director refuses to give Lisa her son's address, stating it's better for him to stay with a friend. Undeterred, Lisa breaks into the daycare that night. Simultaneously, her parole officer discovers she has violated curfew. Lisa frantically searches for her son's records at a daycare, but finds her friend's address just as police arrive. She pockets the address but is spotted, leading to a chase where she damages a police car before being rearrested. Her parole officer picks her up, questioning why she broke into the daycare for an address and why she ran. He provocatively suggests she ran to reunite with her husband, whom she allegedly didn't kill. Lisa angrily snaps, confessing to killing, dismembering, and disposing of her husband. She then notices a child's photo in the car. The officer quickly snatches it away, visibly uncomfortable. He then stops the car, secures Lisa, and steps out for a drink. Upon the officer's departure, Lisa, though handcuffed, drastically starts the car, shunting vehicles into the water. The officer, realizing the danger, races back, but Lisa locks the door. The car plunges into the water with both inside. Underwater, the officer tries to free Lisa, but his weapon falls. Lisa seizes it, frees herself, and surfaces, firing a shot to deter him before vanishing. The officer is rescued and faces an inquiry for losing his weapon. He claims ignorance of Lisa's location, and his superiors warn his job is at risk. Lisa travels to her mother's hometown, using old funds to initiate a new phase of her plan. She visits a car dealership, posing as a client, and uses stolen data from her son's childcare file to provide her former friend's name and social security details as a guarantor. Her parole officer continues to search for her. Lisa goes to her friend's old house with a stolen firearm, but strangers now live there. A neighbor reveals her friend died years ago in a gas leak, but her son and his father moved away safely. Lisa realized her husband faked his death, changed his identity, and killed her friend to cover his tracks. She confirms the gas leak through old newspaper archives, where she spots a unique painting and a photo. Lisa searches art establishments until she finds the painting and, by checking acquisition logs, discovers her husband's new address. However, her luck then runs out. After escaping an officer, Lisa finds her husband living luxuriously under a new identity, owning a hotel and hosting a party. The officer issues a full search for her. Lisa attends the party, outbidding everyone at an auction, which leads her husband to call her forward. He is shocked to see her, and she publicly embarrasses him, introducing herself as his wife despite his earlier claims of being single. She confronts him about cheating with her best friend and the disappearance of her son. He pulls her aside, attempting to calm her, but she accuses him of killing her best friend. A woman named Lisa on parole avoids her parole officer at a party hosted by her husband, warning him she'll contact him tomorrow. The officer, suspecting Lisa is armed and looking for her husband, shows her photo to the husband, who denies seeing her. Later, a restaurant worker warns Lisa that police are looking for her with a reward. He helps her escape arriving police by giving her an umbrella to hide behind. She walks past officers but is spotted, leading to a chase. Lisa vanishes into the darkness. The next day, the officer questions Lisa's husband again about her focus on him. Lisa then calls her husband, arranging to meet him and their son at a cemetery at 4 o'clock. He agrees and arrives at the designated time. Lisa confronts her husband about her son, but he leads her to a child who turns out to be a decoy. Her husband then attacks her, throwing her into an open grave. The parole officer investigating Lisa's claims discovers her husband's identity is new and fabricated. Lisa, trapped in a casket, uses the officer's stolen firearm to escape. As she flees, the officer apprehends her, but seeing her distress, he comforts her. Later, the officer confronts the husband at his office, revealing he believes Lisa's story after verifying the husband's fake identity. The husband grows apprehensive as the officer unveils his outdated license, bearing his true identity, revealing his compromised position. In an attempt to extricate himself, the husband proposes a bribe. The officer feigns interest and assents, insisting on immediate payment. When the husband endeavors to negotiate a partial remittance, the officer menaces him with exposure, compelling his compliance. Subsequently, the officer nonchalantly remarks that a single issue persists, Lisa herself, suggesting she could pose complications if alive. The husband dispassionately retorts that she is already deceased and interred. At that precise instant, Lisa emerges, brandishing a firearm. Her husband becomes paralyzed with dread and inquires of the officer why he remains inert. The officer placidly responds that she is the individual wielding the armament. The husband attempts to intimidate her, cautioning that if she murders him now, she will incur the severest retribution. But Lisa self-assuredly retorts that the legal system does not penalize an individual twice for an identical transgression. Lisa elevates the weapon and demands to ascertain the true whereabouts of her son. Petrified, he finally divulges the information and provides her with the school's designation. She discharges a shot skyward, not with lethal intent, but to instill terror. She informs him she does not desire his demise. She desires him to endure the anguish she experienced. The officer then elucidates that he will be apprehended for homicide. Perplexed, the husband queries whom he purportedly slew. Lisa calmly replies, "Me." The officer plays an audio recording of him asserting she was already interred, thereby demonstrating premeditation. They clarify that evidence could readily be fabricated, such as her hair in his vehicle, making it appear as though he assassinated her. As the officer requests Lisa to relinquish the weapon, the husband abruptly assaults, seizing a firearm and discharging it at the officer before pivoting toward Lisa with the intent to also dispatch her. The injured officer grapples with him, striving to disarm him. The husband exacerbates the officer's wound and elevates the weapon once more, poised to dispatch him. But Lisa acts first. She discharges her firearm twice, incapacitating him permanently. Her husband ultimately perishes, concluding all he initiated. The officer is swiftly transported to the hospital and recovers. Subsequently, Lisa discovers that, as she remains legally his spouse, she inherits the hotel he possessed. The following day, she and the officer proceed to her son's school. Lisa is apprehensive, uncertain of his reaction after all these years. The officer playfully encourages her, remarking that she already cost him his vehicle and nearly his profession, and if she doesn't converse with her son immediately, he'll apprehend her for imprudence. She chuckles nervously and advances toward the boy, vocalizing his name. When he draws near, she tenderly inquires if he recognizes her. The child guilelessly replies that he was informed of her demise. Suppressing tears, she gently assures him that she is present now. Ultimately, after all she persevered through and contended with, Lisa enclasps her son once more, and that is where the film concludes.